Hi, Dr. Anita Haque, your chiropractor and your friend to help you get the most out of your health, your body, and your life without any drugs, without any surgery, so that you can live the best life ever. Today, I want to clear up a little confusion about disc herniations, disc bulges, disc issues in general. Because a lot of times I get patients who come in here with an MRI report from their orthopedic and they say, I have a disc issue or disc bulge or disc herniation and I don't understand what that means. So let's take a minute to discover what the differences really are. So first and foremost, a disc is what sits in between the vertebrae and this model here. So they're like these little rubbery things and they act like cushions or shock absorbers. And what really absorbs the shock is the fluid in the middle part of these concentric rings. This example here, this red part, this is the fluid part. This is an example where part of the disc is starting to protrude out into these concentric rings, and this would be considered more of a disc bulge. But because it's still contained in the entire disc here, you really may not feel anything. There may not be any symptoms at all, and that's why if you're doing an MRI, you might find that on the report there's all these other segments saying that there's a disc bulge, 2 millimeters or 1 millimeter. A lot of times it's nothing to worry about. It's not going to create any pressure or any problems. Now, let's say you actually have symptoms down your leg, like sciatic pain, and you get an MRI, and they say you have a disc herniation. It's maybe 2 millimeters or 3 millimeters or 4 millimeters, and it might even say something like posterolateral. What that means is on this diagram here, we have the nerves on the lateral side, meaning the sides of the vertebrae. Here is the disc. Okay, the fluid has not only come out, but it's broken through these rings, and now it's protruding and affecting the nerve. And when it pinches this nerve, that's when the sciatic symptoms, pain down the leg, numbness, tingling, can actually be a major symptom. This is something that definitely we work on with patients all the time to resolve this issue naturally just by realigning the vertebrae and tractioning the spine. Now, things can get even more serious. When I say more serious, is sometimes people have disc issues or disc herniations like this. And on this model, it's showing how the fluid is actually broken through, straight through to where the spinal cord is. So we got the nerves on the side, the spinal cord runs through the spine, and when this fluid hits the spinal cord, a lot of the symptoms are pain down both legs, or numbness down both legs, weakness down both legs, loss of function, loss of bowel control, loss of urinary flow control. So this is definitely more dangerous, more serious. Sometimes surgery, or I should say a lot of times surgery is a resort on this type of disc issue. So we don't want this type of disc issue. Another type of disc problem is when we get older, a lot of times we hear something like arthritis, and there could be disc bulges or disc herniations because as the bones flatten out and we get older, those bones come closer and closer together, and it can create this arthritis. And this is an example here where the bones are, getting closer and closer because that disc is thinning out, because we don't drink enough water, we're not moving. So if you don't move, you're going to lose it. If you don't drink enough water, you're not going to pump up those discs enough. That's why it's very crucial that you stretch, you move, you get adjusted, even when you're young and healthy, so you can avoid this. Because as you get older, if these bones get closer and closer together and they get arthritic, what happens on the inside, as you can see here, is the fluid will also flatten out, creating more pressure throughout the entire area of the spinal cord and the nerves, and therefore there's more pain, discomfort, stiffness, tightness. And we definitely don't want to do that because life is too short. You want to be moving and doing the things you want to do for the entire time you're around. So disc issues can be very confusing, but hopefully this little video helps to clear some of that confusion up and make it easier to understand the difference between just a bulge versus where it's just sitting in the disc, and a herniation where it breaks out of that disc, that fluid, and affects the nerves and or the spinal cord, or both. If you are suffering with a disc issue, be sure to get yourself checked by a chiropractor, because a lot of times we can avoid surgery, cortisone, or other issues by naturally removing the pressure off those nerves. I hope this video helps you to understand your discs and your health, and make sure you're drinking water, you're stretching, getting adjusted so you can avoid any disc issues in the future. Hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll be back again soon with another tip for you.